Did you have an opener for this
I
one?
don't think I did. Did you?
I kind of had one.
All right, let's try it.
I'm really tired. It's been a long day. That's not my opener.
It is now.
Yeah, I guess they can't all be bangers, huh?
No, they can't. They can't. And then, but that's the thing. Like, see, Adam Driver called and he was like, "Hey, I can be on the show today." And we were like, "Sorry, man, we gotta reschedule because we got the honorary Fox brother on today." You know. Oh shit, man! Jacob fucking popped out. Right
Jacob
there.
did pop out.
I heard
it.
You've gone into Jacob exhaustion.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm very tired. Yeah. It's almost like I'm high, but I'm not because fuck, if I was, I would also be incredibly paranoid. Wow. But I am rambling like I am.
Yeah, you are starting to sound like you're on some sort of narcotics. And originally I thought we were going to do a intervention for Brian, but I guess we're going to have to do one on you, Jeremy. I don't know what's really going on.
Please intervene in my poor time management and let me take a nap. Oh shit. Oh, no. So Brian,
Yes.
tell us about Sorbo.
Well, I mean, Sorbo really just kind of came from my love of all things wrestling from the 80s and early 90s. And I just kind of came up with a crazy idea to do a cat folk who was a pro wrestler as far as doing the circus and all that stuff. Like, what kind of performance would it be? And then right before we started actually recording Encore of the Lost, they came out with the wrestling archetype. So it was just a natural fit to go ahead and embrace that fully and really lean into the wrestling part of them.
So which part came first? Was it like the class or did you start, you just wanted to go with wrestler for like the performance aspect of it and do full on WWE?
Well, I guess really where it started was the Barbarian. And then when I started looking at the different feats of the Barbarian and the different things, I kind of leaned towards I like the animal aspect of the Rage. Because that to me just seems like the more natural aspect of Rage. You know, is you basically lose the any kind of human side of you when you actually go into a full Rage. So then going down through there and seeing the cat one, I was just like, man, it would be cool. Because it even says kind of in later feats that you even started gaining some of the physical features of this. As I was like, well, what if I just leaned into that from the very start? And that's basically like just, you know, a cat folk embracing its catness and letting go of the human side of them.
It's catness? Like Hunger Games? That it's...
I mean, are you sure that he's not going to become more human then? Like the converse?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I mean, basically you be as the animal instinct barbarian, you basically just become the animal. So with him having the cat instinct for the animal barbarian, I mean, he's really just basically fully becoming like 100% cat at that time. He doesn't he tries to be a cat folk for the most part, but then when he actually rages, that's the only time he'll actually ever bite somebody.
Ooh, I mean, if he's biting people when he's not mad or in combat, that seems like there might be an issue there.
Right, but there's things I could take to where he could bite just regularly as like a long tooth cat folk and things like that. But I like the fact that he he isn't able to use that as an attack until he's raging.
Oh, almost like it's a part of himself that he's suppressing.
Right,
until-
Right,
yeah.
right. He won't use his mouth as a weapon until he's in that animal state.
Till he's not till he's not in control anymore. It's almost a sign of the lack of control at that point.
Correct.
That's cool.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it and like looking back, it's like, oh yeah, that does make sense. Like
It totally makes sense.
But then it's like almost like when he starts raging, he just starts biting, and there's no like not biting. That's just what he's doing.
So basically, he's like an angry toddler. He's just gonna keep biting you until
That's it.
Quit it.
Wow. Oh shit. So in general, like, how do you approach character building for the most part?
I don't know. I've actually so far approached it multiple different ways. I mean, really, it's there's been characters that I've built based off of kind of like a cool feat or something cool that I found that I kind of want to like play off of. There's other characters where I started kind of writing a backstory and was like, okay, now I need to see if I can build somebody who fits this narrative, kind of like what I had previously done with our Anatole sessions and stuff like that.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
The paladin.
You did kind of write his backstory first. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote his backstory first and then kind of fit the character into that based off of what I could find as far as feats and, you know, character qualities. And then other characters, you know, Emmett, he was more like, you know, we did the life path thing and just kind of rolled him out. So he was 100% just random.
Yeah.
And the you know, the voice came out later after it was I rolled Hawaii and kind of started. That was really what like sealed the deal for Emmett, was where he came from, and I was like, this is how he's going to be then. And then actually, I think the personal favorite character of the group for myself and everything really came from a voice, and I just found the voice and was like, yeah, I'm going to run with that.
Oh, the character that has yet to show up yet and will show up in a couple weeks. That one? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That voice came first, and then I decided how to play the character.
Oh shit! I can't wait.
Yeah,
I love that character so much.
Yeah, and that's just me messing around with voices while I'm driving around by myself, like seeing what I can actually get to happen.
Yeah. Nah, I can't wait for that. What is that? Wait, that's like going to be episode...
I think it's
5
or 6.
6.
I think
It's
five.
6.
I think it's
6. Because there's the next week's Encore of the Lost, which is Marbles of Modern Medicine. Then it's then it's something else. Then it might even be 6 now that I'm thinking about it. Like we might be talking about episode 6. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there pretty deep, and it's a short. Yeah. Ha!
It's in pretty deep, and it's a short one. Deep. Pause for edit.
It's impressive.
No, but that was the other thing. If we're going to talk about things that are like coming up without like really talking about them, I know that like this week on 2 Past Midnight too, like with Emmett, there's a huge bit of like backstory that's about to to come out, because this is episode 3 coming out on Monday. That's Psalms 82:3. So that'll be a good one.
Completely changes the game.
Yeah. This is what. Yeah, that really turns our campaign.
Yeah, I know, and that's interesting because it was like, that does. It kind of like all of a sudden, like the whole campaign goes whoop, like in a very specific direction at that point, you know, and it's kind of
it's
cool.
Pretty pivotal.
Yeah, I guess we can't talk about that now yet. Damn it.
I kind of want to. Don't tell me what I can do.
Don't talk about it because it hasn't happened yet.
God damn it.
Yeah. Let's see. Can I ask Brian how he? Nope. Nope. Can't do that either. All right, cool. We'll talk about it.
All right, and that's all for this episode, folks.
All right. Thanks, Brian. We'll talk to you later.
No.
That was all 10 minutes.
We'll
We'll interview you sometime after episode 15 when we can actually have a conversation.
I think Oh man, no, like
shit.
it's. I think it's funny because we dove right into this like conversation talking specifically about the characters, and we didn't even talk about like you briefly mentioned it, Jeremy, about Brian being like the honorary Fox brother, but like you weren't really exaggerating. Like that's pretty accurate, you know.
Yeah, but Bree's been around forever.
So yeah, so Brian's been you know, basically a honorary Fox brother for fucking, I don't know, 30 something years.
30 plus.
Yep.
30 plus. Yeah, then we don't have to do exact math then.
No, yeah. The only people I've known longer than you guys are actual blood relatives, so.
So Brian, then but yeah, I mean the point was that we like dove what I was getting to was that we dove right into the like role play, like the character stuff, but we didn't really talk at all about like your background with like, you know, have you done any kind of like improv stuff? Have you done any like comedy, you know, things like that? And I'm asking, I know these are leading questions and I know the answers to them, but not everyone
You're the
does.
worst lawyer.
No, you know what?
Objection.
That's not true. Because that's what lawyers do. When you have your witness, you ask them the questions that you know they're going to answer.
But you don't tell them they're leading questions. You just ask them leading questions.
I object. Overruled.
Sustained.
And then my dog sat on a bee.
I hold you in contempt of court.
Will the witness please answer the question?
I don't even know what the question is anymore.
Your Honor, permission to treat the witness as a badger.
Hostile.
As a badger?
Yeah, because obviously he just doesn't give a shit anymore. The witness has gone full honey badger.
Allow me to treat the witness as badger.
Badger. Oh my God.
I do remember a text from earlier like, hey, if you don't talk about a whole bunch of dumb crap, I won't have to edit all this out.
Oh no, most of this is staying in.
Oh no, this will stay in. This will stay in.
Oh my God. Oh fuck.
You guys are terrible.
Oh God. Yeah, so Brian, tell us about your experience and in improv or comedy or both.
Performance.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did the normal stuff during high school.
Stripping. Yep.
Stripping. That's how everybody gets through school, isn't it?
I think I have pictures of that actually.
You probably do. I did band, theater, drama, all that stuff. And then, and me and you, Jeremy, we actually did I did 3 years of clown camp. I think you did 1.
Yeah, I did 1 year of clown camp.
Yeah, which is exactly what it sounds like for everybody out there. It is literally just a camp to learn to be a clown.
I mean, I don't feel like we needed to go to a camp.
No, we didn't. Well, if anything, I learned balloon animals. So I still sometimes do balloon animals for some of the stuff that the kids are involved in. That's probably the one thing I took away from that.
You know what's funny is I did clown camp too, and you're never going to guess which one I focused on. Jeremy probably knows the answer to this. Miming. Does not translate well to the medium we're doing right now.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Like right now.
Go ahead and try to like break out of that box.
Ooh, nice rope pull.
Ooh.
See, right? Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
It's beautiful. Beautiful. Well done. Well
Sight gag.
We're not even running cameras.
I know. That's what's funny about it.
And none of us are in the same state.
Yeah, right.
Funny part was I was actually miming at my microphone.
Oh.
Why even?
In character, man. Got to be in character. I mean,
See, dear listeners, that's how in character we get. We talk with our hands, we mime, can't see shit.
Yep. Jeremy still can't shake Jacob's voice.
Oh, God, man, it's bad.
He talks like him
bad.
9 times out of 10.
he does.
I told you guys, like it. I have to consciously think to not speak like Jacob because it's so easy to lean into it and like, God damn it, was it right there? Like it starts fucking up my speech patterns.
It does.
So hard.
So it would be on the phone, and Jeremy would start just going into like the Jacob talk, man. It was
just like
great.
drifting into it, man.
Just drifting into it mid conversation. It was
like,
fucking hilarious.
You know, you just fall into it, and it's just like the easiest thing to do, man. God, all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, so after all that, after high school, I did stand up for about 3 years. Really, the only thing that came out of that is I took 3rd place in a City of Dayton Sierra Mist contest. But yeah, that's really kind of my background. I've just really never had much fear about doing anything.
So that was like what? Now I'm curious. I didn't know about that. What do you mean by 3rd place at a Sierra Mist contest? I'm assuming it was a comedy thing, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
How to do comedy with Sierra Mist. It was like they were the ones sponsoring it, right?
Yes. Sierra Mist sponsors a nationwide contest every year. So.
Oh, cool.
And I took 3rd place out of the Dayton auditions, basically. And really, all I got was a little extra mic time for the club that I was at.
You can also say you're the 3rd funniest person in Dayton. That's a thing. Not everybody could say that.
That's saying something because Dave Chappelle was like right around the corner.
Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle is from right there. Yeah, that's right. See, there you go. He didn't get 3rd place, did he? He probably didn't even show up.
He was a professional. They don't let him in that. Yeah, you can't already have a contract.
But was he at that point? I don't think he was in contract at that point. I think that might have been when he like left.
Yeah, I think that was during his disappearance and breakdown stuff.
His hiatus. Yeah. But no, that's pretty cool. That's do you have any clean material you would be willing to share with us? 'Cause I don't think I've ever heard any of it.
Your clean material? You act
I don't
like our
know, man.
show's clean.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's for one. Yeah. But, for 2, I have one that is semi-clean, but it is probably insensitive for the time period we live in now, so I won't use that one.
Yeah, probably not. Not that one. Not that one.
Yeah.
Let's skip that one.
Well, I'll tell you that, guys, that one after we stop the recording. And then the other one was a very dated joke. And it's actually, I think it's the reason that I took 3rd place in the contest.
Was it about Kennedy?
No, it was about George W. Bush, the second one.
Oh, now I got to hear it. Come on. Now we got to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear
so,
this one. Yeah.
I was reading the newspaper the other day, and George W. Bush was in it, and I was reading it, and everybody seems to be all up in arms and worried that now he wants to invade Iran. You know, we've got the Iraq war going on. We just invaded Afghanistan, and now everybody's worried that we're going to end up taking Iran, but everybody should have seen this one coming because everybody who knows anything knows you got to have all 3 properties before you put hotels on them.
It's dated, but it's good. I like it.
Shit. I wonder what the rent is on those.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, Brian, at some point you're gonna have to join. Like when I finally get this game made and put together, it's somewhat along the lines of what you were just talking about.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah.
Well, like Monopoly meets Risk.
It's Riskopoly. That's literally what it is.
Pause for edit.
Huh?
Pause for edit.
I don't care. No, here's the thing.
No, somebody's gonna make it.
I can't sell it.
Well, you can't. You don't name it that.
Why not? Yeah. I could say it that in the show. As long as I don't sell it as that, I can call it Riscopoly all I want.
Oh, no. I'm saying so no one else makes it and then like steals your idea.
Whatever. I'll have a recording and digital proof that they listen to my show.
Oh, that's fair. That is fair.
So if it comes out now, but no, so basically, and I'm going to go into extensive detail of what the game is now. So it's Risk and Monopoly put together, right? So instead of normal properties, the properties are the territories from Risk, right? Yeah. And then you basically play a round of Risk and a round of Monopoly like all at the same time. So you can either win economically by like bankrupting everybody else, or you can win by like, militarily taking them over.
Or both.
Or both, using both tactics and hitting them, So Riscopoly.
There you go.
See? Yeah. I do like that though. That was good.
Like I said, I think that's really the one that drove me into third place. Is it was it was pretty on point right at the time.
It does seem
that and the other one that I will tell you later.
Fair enough.
On brand for offensive.
Yes.
Oh man. So that was the other question. I knew that there was one more question that I'd actually thought of. GMing. Have you ever had any interest in GMing? If so, what games were you thinking about GMing?
Well, I mean, I've only recently even picked, tabletop RPGs up again since high school. So there seems to just kind of be more of a, like, almost the feeling of a learning curve that I guess makes me a little gun shy to try and GM. I mean, I see you guys do it so well, and you guys have been playing for quite some time. Well, you guys have to learn to take compliments seriously.
So, you know the rules of the game we play better than I do.
Look, a lot of times half of GMing is pretending like you know the rules, and it works well because the players don't. Yeah, like if they don't know the rules.
So am I screwing up everything?
Yes, because you keep telling us like, no, you're wrong. This is what it says in the book. It's like, well, God damn it, Brian.
Well, no, that's fine because then it's like, oh, okay, sorry, you just move on, right? But that's like,
oh yeah, totally,
yeah, that's it.
It's like, oh, right, you're right, yeah, that's right. So, and then you just move on and you go with that.
Truly, that does help out.
Well, I don't know all the rules. I just try and know the rules that are going to apply to me. Like,
see, that's an important thing to do. Yeah.
I just feel like that's basic player etiquette. As being a player, if you take feats or skills or abilities, know what they are and how they work.
This is why you're the honorary Fox brother.
Oh man. I was just thinking, this is deja vu. We were just talking about this last week.
We talked about that in like the very first Scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
It was like, know your shit as a player.
I mean, it's good player etiquette. I mean,
yeah.
If somebody has to hold your hand with your character, you're not role playing, you're being led along.
Yeah. But I mean, to a certain extent, I would like to defend new players in that regard to like, they may not know the rules yet,
Right. No, I'm all for a new player learning how to play. But like, if there's a month in between sessions, there's things you could do.
Oh yeah.
To read or look up, or you know what I mean. At least just basic knowledge of your character. Like, hey, I took this feat and it does this. And if even if you read the feat and don't understand what it does, I mean, how many times have I sent you a text like, hey, I read this and it kind of sounds like this, but does it mean that or this? Like, how are we going to rule that if I actually try and use it in game?
A lot. And some of the ones you sent me were like very open-ended in GM call. And I was like, well, there's nothing in the book about that. So let me just make a call on that. And which is cool. Cause like I've done the exact same thing to Adam for like our Iron Gods campaign and Starfinder. Like I'll send him a thing, be like, I want to do this. how does that work? You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's really important to have that kind of relationship, like player GM relationship is like, I want to do this thing. How's it work? You know?
Yeah, yeah, and like I'm thinking about that because there's two different tactics a player could use if you have like this cool feat, right? You could either like communicate with the GM and be like, "Hey, how does this work? Am I reading this right? Does it do this?" You know what I mean? Or you could be like, "I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna show him." You know what I mean? And like use it as like, "Aha, gotcha!" You know, trump card, and then you've like didn't even read the rule right. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, there's it's better to have
if you're gonna
open
do
communication.
a gotcha,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do a gotcha, you got to know the rule. Like,
Yeah.
Not only that, but if you're trying to pull the gotcha move, at that point it goes to almost like you're trying to win.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, are you trying to win? Because you can't.
Rocks
You
fall,
are
your
trying
character
to-
dies.
Right, you're trying to get one over on the person who controls reality.
Yeah.
The very next door could be your death if you try and do that.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, and because all the GM has to do is go, okay, cool, fine, whatever, and then like, yeah, you open the next door and it's like, there's a nuclear weapon in there. It's like, but we're playing Pathfinder, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? Poof.
Yeah, the
man.
door's a mimic. It ate your hand. It's over. Whatever.
Yeah, like whatever.
Yeah, there's 100 ways to die. It's you don't play to beat the GM.
I mean, and I think that's the thing is there has to be like open communication between the players and the GM, and the players have to kind of trust that the GM has like maybe not their best interest in mind, but like the story's best interest in mind, and like everybody's, you know, collective enjoyment of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and in that sense, the player's best interest in mind. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily just how do I bend the rules so that it's every awesome thing you want it to be. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like, no, there's limitations, and the limitations kind of give it like drama. You know what I mean? Like the drama comes sometimes from those limitations within the rules. Or we would just be playing, I'm a superhero.
Yeah, and that's the thing is so many people get into that like superhero mindset to where they also fall into the, well, I'm the star of this show. Like it's what what I'm doing is the biggest and best thing, and you know what I mean. You can't yes and somebody who's just trying to steal the spotlight.
Right.
Adam. No.
Hey, wait, are you talking about me?
Oh, shit.
Oh man.
Well, it didn't take you long to become queen of the circus, so. Oh, he's dead. I'm in charge now.
Highest charisma. Sorry, it was like it made the most sense.
Yeah, that's
It really
true.
did.
They did have the highest charisma.
Yeah, it was just a like, I guess I'm the one who has to do this. You know what I mean? Like what
Yeah.
other PC was going to step up and do that? Like it.
Yeah,
Oh,
the other two with mainly athletics wasn't about to go start being the
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, like Sorbo wasn't going to go out there and be like, next up is the blah blah blah. You know, like
It
whatever.
would have been amazing, though. Here's a show. Shut up.
You clap
You
now.
owe me a copper piece. 2 copper pieces now. Oh man. No, but yeah, and you are right though. I mean, because that was one of the things was that that first couple episodes of Encore, because Jeremy, because like that was part of our like experimental, can we make a podcast out of this? And when we were listening back and we were like, wow, there's a lot of really cool stuff here. There were also a lot of things where I was like, man, I over talk over people too much. I need to pull back. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, I mean, it was really informative to like listen back to it and go, oh, wow, shit. I need to like not do that so much and try to like, and that did kind of change how I was role playing. There was a lot of after that, me being like, and I think Jeremy and I were talking about that, about being like, hey, so what do you think, Dick? What do you think, Sorbo? What do you, like trying to like make it more of a conversation between the characters instead of just, grandstanding,
Yeah. Well, and that's if I can bring something else up, that's something that we've also had conversations about. Is come to find out, it seems a little harder to role play in Pathfinder sometimes, just because of the amount of rules and roles for rules, sometimes it feels like a little more difficult to play the character instead of playing the character sheet.
Right. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I think we've done a pretty good job of it so far.
Oh, I think we've done it. I love the game, and I think we've done an amazing job of trying to balance the two. But it also seems like with Twilight, it comes a little more effortlessly because the rules are a little looser to just allow the movement of the PCs through the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd say what you're saying. I see what you're saying, and it does. I think it. You can still do that with Pathfinder. You know what I mean? Like, I think you can still play it that way with Pathfinder. It's just incumbent on the players to not play the character sheet, you know?
Right. But it instead, like a lot of times, it's a trap you can fall into where it's like, I say 4 words. Is that diplomacy or deception? And then you roll for it instead of just having the conversation in a fluid way.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, one of the real fun ways to do it is to roll first and then decide what it was that you said after you roll for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I rolled real terrible.
Fluff it afterwards. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
You guys going camping?
You smell pretty. I like you. Be my friend.
How you doing?
But that's actually a conversation Adam and I had about just GMing styles in general, and it was really important to me from a GM standpoint to give the players that time to role play. You know, like one of the things they always say about like running campaigns and running encounters is keep your players on a clock. Like, you have to keep them on a clock, you know, to keep it moving, or else they bog down, and then the encounter kind of gets a little boring and everything gets a little stale. But when you're not in that encounter, and if you do have time, lean into the role play. I mean, because that's the kind of game we were more interested in anyways, you know, it's like, and it was incumbent on me to like make that space for you guys. So I try really hard to give you guys that opportunity.
Oh, I know you do. You do an amazing job. It's like I said, it's really the game itself that kind of doesn't lend itself sometimes to that, like you said, because it
say like 5 words and then roll a 20 and you're like, oh, I win, you know.
Well, see, I don't think it's necessarily the mechanics of the game, though. I mean, I think sometimes it's because with something like Pathfinder, you're running an adventure path, right? So there's like the rails and like the story, and like you can, and if you allow your players to fill in the role play in between, then that experience just broadens. The thing with Twilight is there's not an adventure path. Yeah. No, Twilight. No, with sparkly fucking vampires. The thing with Twilight.
How dare you?
No, the thing with
Team Jacob.
The thing with Twilight 2000 is that it's a little bit less structured in that way. So then it half the time I'm giving you guys time to role play so I can figure out what the fuck's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So it's like I just like sit back and like I'm doing other shit. You know what I mean? So it works out well. So I think that it's not just the mechanics of the game as much as it's also the setting and the and just the GM allowing the players the time to breathe it in, like Jeremy was saying. Like, if you give the players the time to breathe it in, you know, you don't have to make them roll diplomacy checks with each other. You know what I mean? Intimidation checks, shit like that. Like, they just let them play it out in character and see how it plays out, you know?
Yeah. And that's, you know, in future episodes, that's some of my absolute favorite moments.
Oh yeah. Me too. Yeah. We've had some pretty funny back and forth.
Yes, we have.
Oh God.
Like I totally prefer, the message one, and then the how do we get a cleric conversation still makes me laugh out loud every time I hear it.
That's Absolutely. Coming up. That's this week. That's this week. That's episode 3.
Yeah, that's episode 3. A week from today, or a week from yesterday.
A week from Thursday. While we're recording this, it'll be on the the 21st.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh
and
man.
The some of those back and forths have been some of my absolute favorite. And that's
totally.
in these games, that's what I prefer is the improv and conversations more than the dice rolls. The dice rolls just basically keep things random.
Yeah.
I just really like the ability to kind of roll with that, and especially with the group of guys that we've assembled for these games, it's amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, that was the thing too, is like when Jeremy and I first started talking about, doing the podcast in the first place, it was when it was like, it was Jeremy, you, Kyle, and me, and we were just like, this is really good dynamic. You know what I mean? Like it was just a really smooth, like role play, and yeah. And
it was a big part of what sold the entire idea, because the recording, Adam and we talked about it before. Like I immediately bought a microphone after I heard the recording. I was like, nope, that's garbage. I need a mic. But
and then upgraded everybody's microphones.
But the chemistry, like you guys had as a party and like we had as a group, it was just, it was really good chemistry. And as far as gameplay, and I think you can hear it, as far as the way it comes out.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, is like by the time we got to doing the Twilight 2000 ones, was we'd had all of that like, backlog of doing that the only person that wasn't part of that was Chris, like before from us doing Encore. And so he was kind of new to that mode, and I think he picked up pretty quick, and he's kind of rolling with it pretty good.
And I think like once you throw somebody in, it kind of shakes up that dynamic a little bit, and you kind of have to like
readjust
a little bit, especially since you and I had switched that the GM player role, so it kind of like that role play takes a little bit of a turn. Like it's the difference between Encore and Twilight 2000.
I think the difference is you're less sadistic than I am. That might be the difference.
Yeah, I think so. Like I want the players to flourish, I don't see it as I truly don't see it as an opposition thing. Like I feel more like a gardener,
Yeah. Oh, me too. It's like roses. You just got to trim them so that they grow more. You know what I mean? Like
roses. Look, if anyone out there, if you plant rose bushes, tear them out. Just rip them out. They're the worst plant in the world.
Well, and playing for both of you, I really feel like it's one is trying to bring the characters out of the characters, and the other one is trying to apply pressure until the character comes out or cracks.
Wait, which one's which?
We'll let them decide. Keep listening. You'll figure it out.
I'm sure anyone who's listened up to this point, I'm sure they can tell the difference. I'm sure they know.
After week 2, they're like, oh, yeah, we could tell.
Well, but that's also the setting. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what the setting is. Like, it's not,
That brings me around to my next question. Brian.
Yes.
Is there an RPG setting that you prefer, or is there one that you just have no interest in, like horror, space, fantasy? Like what's your preferred tabletop realm? Like
or
RPG?
Can I on top of this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe not preferred, but one that you haven't got to do yet that you'd like to do.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really haven't got to do a whole lot. I mean, most of what I've done has either been, kind of D&D, Hobbit kind of,
Don't say Hobbit. No, I'm just kidding.
You
can't say that. Sorry, halfling movie kind of, the furry foot things.
Right, like high fantasy is what you're talking about.
Yeah. High fantasy, all that. And I mean, that's really where most of it kind of lands. But then stepping into Twilight, and then, I mean, we did Shadowrun kind of back in the day, which was kind of like a makeshift future kind of thing. Really, I really like more, I guess, like I said before, the role play and the people. So a game that allows me to do that, I don't really care how it goes. I'm huge into horror.
Okay.
I'm big into sci-fi. You know, even the high fantasy stuff, everything. There's not really anything that I'm kind of like I snub my nose up to. It's just really like, can we have fun doing it without it being like, I don't know, over encumbered with so much like, you know, rules and everything else. Like
Becoming a chore.
yeah. Yeah, like I don't want to ever do anything just to do it. Like, hey, we have to do this game. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good then. Don't tell me I have to do something. I don't respond well to that.
I get it.
Yeah, because I'm sitting over here, and one of the games is one we're actually planning on recording this week for later, eventually. I'm looking at on my bookshelf. The other one I'm looking at on my bookshelf is Alien. Would you have any interest in doing that one at some point, Brian?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, good.
Does that still use the like year zero? Or?
Yes. Yeah,
yes?
it's Free League. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, fantastic!
It's a.
Oh yeah,
it is
absolutely.
Slightly different mechanics. Slightly.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna adjust certain things just to.
Well, it's more like the year zero with like D6s only. Like you don't use D10s and D12s and D8s.
Okay, so when you step up, you just add dice.
Yeah, you just add more dice, which is more like most of the other year zero ones. But also it has a thing called stress dice. So as your character takes stress, you get to roll more dice. But that also means that like if you get a 1 on those stress dice, that's when bad shit starts to happen.
Okay,
but you have to roll them if you're taking stress, you have to roll that number of dice with your rolls anyway. Like it just slowly builds up. So yeah.
And then you crack, and the first one of us who cracks gets to go, game over, man.
Yeah, and then you start randomly shooting around, and you accidentally hit your buddies, or an alien that's right beside your buddy, and they get sprayed with fucking acid. You know, like that's
right.
Yep. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Whatever you're gonna do it fast. So aside from Alien, of the games that you are aware of, what game is the most exciting to you? Like, is there a game that you're like, man, I just want to play this game if I can just get the chance to play X, you know, whatever game it is? Like, what game would that be?
Really, I think there's kind of like a toss up between two that I haven't got to play that I really kind of want to. One is Delta Green, because I haven't done anything with like a, you know, kind of the Cthulhu horror genre. And so that one kind of interests me a lot. And then the other one would probably be Forbidden Lands, just because it almost seems like where Pathfinder and Twilight would cross paths.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that just sounds like a whole lot of fun.
It's Forbidden Lands is a little bit darker. It almost has elements of like Morkborg in there too. I'm probably saying that wrong, and it's fine.
Morkborg.
Yeah, sure,
or something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong too.
Yeah, but it has a little bit of elements of that in there too, where it's there's a lot of chaos behind like even the character creation. That's so yeah, it does lean a little bit more like Twilight 2000, but it has those elements of high fantasy that, you know, become synonymous with like D&D and Pathfinder.
Yep. Oh, and to answer the question from earlier, hold on. You did ask me which one I would be most comfortable probably GMing. It would probably be Pathfinder 2, just because that one I have actually spent the most time in, and am most familiar with the rule sets and things like that. I feel a little more comfortable, I guess, in that.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, because you did dive really pretty deep into those rules. So,
like I said, you know them better than I do. Like
that's probably true. That's probably true.
I'm really I'm not trying to be self-deprecating, but I'm just being acceptant of my own rules ignorance. Because I know you have like you've really dug into the rules and taken to them, and there's definitely a couple times where you're like, no, it's this. I'm like, all right, whatever.
It's a reflex save, not a fortitude save.
Oh yeah,
or the reflex DC, not a fort DC.
I butcher those rules so bad.
Like I said, it's fine as long as no one catches it.
Right. Well, but that's the whole reason I took assurance with athletics was because of those saves.
You haven't taken it yet.
Yeah, I have. I took that. That was I took that from
level 1.
I got that from farmer from level 1.
Yeah, because he used it in episode 2.
Yeah,
I think
pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, because I kept tripping Jolene, the drunk girl, because she didn't have anything for a reflex save. So I could just auto do it with the assurance. And I was aggravating the crap out of you with that, like, because every time she had a turn, she had to pick herself back up.
Yeah. Well, it was just, the trip is one of the worst things, because then you have to decide, well, do I waste an action standing up, or do I just stay on the ground because I know I'm going to get tripped again?
That's also the reason to do it. I mean, you're using up their action economy, you know.
For sure.
Correct.
For sure.
And that's why I took it as like a first level thing was, and if I can find out whether they have low fort, low reflex, low will, or whatever, and I can try and use my athletics accordingly to either grapple, trip, or what's the other one? No, grapple, trip. Yeah, grapple or trip.
Yeah, grapple and trip.
Well, because we got a big burly, hit hard guy. He probably his reflex isn't going to be as good, so you could use an action to trip him and then move back. You know what I mean? Or like attack and then move back. Or attack then trip then move back, because then you force them to like stand up, move, and they only get one attack. They don't get 3 attacks on you.
Well, I think Brian did it really well, because the crazy thing about athletic assurance is it doesn't the attack penalties don't stack anytime you use it. So you can trip on your last action and like attack them twice, trip them once, and in that trip, there's no multiple attack penalties to it. It's a very broken thing.
So if there was a let's go to the setting thing one more time, just because I feel like, is there a type of setting that you think maybe doesn't exist as a role-playing game that you think would be an interesting type of role-playing game? Like, even if it's like a movie or like whatever, like a style of game. Genre, I guess.
I mean,
and even if you think that probably, even if you think probably it does exist, but you just haven't heard of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, I think it does exist. I just don't know of anybody who's like playing like a really good one or anything. Like, I've never heard of anybody like, oh, you totally got to check this out. And that would be Western. Like, I've never seen like a really good Western tabletop RPG. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, noted. Yeah. Offhand, I don't know of one. Maybe someone can, I don't know, email us or tweet us or something and fucking tell us about one. Because offhand,
I'm all ears. But yeah, I've never actually heard of a good one.
There is a Cthulhu one, actually. That's a Western one. Darker Trails, I think is what it's called. It was more of a setting, I think, for Call of Cthulhu. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, and I know that, like, I know certain things with like D&D and the gunslingers and things like that. They've, tried to lean that way a little bit without leaving the high fantasy. It's, you know what I mean? It would just be cool, kind of like Twilight, if somebody leaned real hard into like Wild West frontier survival.
I mean, if you got rid of machine guns and it, you could probably use the Twilight 2000 rules as a Western.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just went back to rifles and 6-shooters.
Yeah.
Can we run that? Can we just do that? Because all the cards could be the same. You know, it's like you found a burned out car. No, it's a burned out wagon.
There are some.
And if you
There are some cards that would not work.
Like, that's fair. That's fair.
Ones that deal with, like, I don't know, a giant crater from a nuke, you know, like that's not going to work.
It could be, asteroids?
I mean, it could still be a crater. It just wouldn't be a, like, radiated, you know, an irradiated crater.
No, that's fair.
But if you take out those cards and just play with not those ones.
Well, yeah, you could even kind of lean it a little more towards kind of like, what is it? Outlaw Josie Wells with the...
Mm-hmm.
God, I love that movie.
Yeah, I do too. And then you have the kind of the Civil War aspect still going on in the background.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I actually had an idea for a Pathfinder game that was going to take place like during the Civil War, but it was going to use like Pathfinder rules, and it was going to be like the Drow. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but like, there was a whole idea I had, and I never got around to doing it because,
it picked up Starfinder. Before we even got into that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now I'm just thinking about running a Western themed Twilight 2000. That sounds amazing.
It does sound really cool.
Because most of those cards would still work.
Twilight 1870.
Actually, in the back of the referee manual, it has like if you use like the solo rules, because it also has where like you could use a normal deck of cards and what the different symbols mean and what the numbers mean, and you could totally just interpret those like tarot cards as, you know, and be like, oh, this is a blah, you know what I mean, and like insert thing here, you know, just using a normal deck of cards even. So yeah. And it would just be going by what a 1 is and what a spade or a club or a heart or a diamond is. You know what I mean? Or an ace, not a 1. You know, but like whatever. Like it just, you could just use that and it would, you know, that would work.
Okay. I will present this. Brian, when I thought about playing second edition, I was like, man, the only way I'm going to get to play second edition is if I just GM the damn thing myself. You want to GM that?
Yeah, Brian, we want you to completely reinterpret the Twilight 2000 game into a Western, so we can play it for a couple.
You've never GM'd before. Now you need to make up an entire game.
Make it up.
Well, the best thing about the Twilight 2000 is you have the cards. You just draw the cards and be like, all right, this is the encounter.
Yep. Oh, wait, I don't think we should do that because then he'll see what all the cards are. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll just have to get listeners to write them for us. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yep. Yeah, maybe we can do that. All right. Well, Brian, we've asked you a bunch of questions. Do you have any questions for us?
Questions for you guys. Well, both of you guys are GMs on 2 different games, and you guys have very different styles, and you both play under each other. And you guys can't take a compliment for nothing. I want to know what you like about the other one's GM style.
Should we roll percentiles to see who goes first?
Yeah, sure. You go first.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you roll first.
Hold on.
Wait, what is it? Highs or lows? What are we doing?
Let's do Delta Green rules.
Oh, opposed luck roll. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Highest, but like highest without going over 50.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. I like the idea of an opposed luck roll.
All
right. What do you got?
52.
Then you went over. So you go first.
Oh, well, shit.
Because I got a 40. So
for me, the thing I really like about Adam's jamming style is like he will dissect the shit out of all of the things the players could possibly do. Like rarely is he surprised by anything any of us are going to do. Like he knows what buttons to push for everybody. And I mean, good or bad. Like he knows what buttons to push on a player to like kind of steer them in a story direction, but also at the same time, just giving them free reign of the situation. You know, it's like being on an open plane and he just kind of like pokes you on the side and you go, what the fuck? And then, you know, it turns. He doesn't really know where it's going per se, but it's in the general direction. Like, I think he's really good at kind of guiding that story, because it's like, think about the bajillion possible outcomes of a specific scenario, and kind of like how to tweak that. So I think, honestly, his foresight is phenomenal. So
thank you.
That's my compliment.
I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah. Cool. I'm not even gonna rebut it. I'm just gonna go on.
Because Brian already harassed you.
Yeah, he already harassed me about it. Yeah, I think Jeremy actually was kind of hitting on the thing that I was thinking earlier when he was talking about giving the characters room to breathe, because I think he does a really good job of, even within like a more stringent like rules setting of something like Pathfinder, and I think that's because of his preference towards that type of game anyway, of letting the characters come out and not getting bogged down by the minutia of rules and interpretations. You know what I mean? Like when he's GMing, I think he does a really good job of kind of just like moving the story along, and, you know, kind of bouncing off of those things, and, you know, letting it happen, like whatever it is, and then just like, or, you know, giving the characters the chance to, but then also working it in. You know what I mean? Like, you got a character doing a thing. You know what I mean? Like you have a player that's, you know, role playing a moment. You know what I mean? And then, you know, yeah, they say a sentence or two, and then being like, okay, roll intimidation, because it's like, that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I think he does a good job of interpreting the role play back into a rule also. But so there we go.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to do that because I don't know the rules.
You weren't supposed to rebut.
I mean, it wasn't a rebut. It was an explanation.
That's the same thing.
It's a synonym.
Oh man. No, but also, yeah, Brian, and then like I think you do a really good job of seeing the character within the rules. You know what I mean? Of like taking, like you were talking about it earlier, you know, about being like, I want to make like this wrestler. How do I do that based on the rules? You know what I mean? And kind of like interpreting the character out or through it. You know what I mean? And it's two very completely different ways of coming at that perspective that you've done in these two different characters, between Sorbo and between Emmett. You know, like one, you were like, this is what the character is. How do I make it? And the other one was like, here's the random roles of this character. Who is this guy? You know, but they're still the same concept. You know what I mean? Of like letting who the character is inform their personality. So I think you do a good job of like latching on to that and then sticking to it. You know, even if it is, you know, potentially detrimental in a situation, which is good. I don't mean that as like, I mean, like that's the, you know, I think sticking with the character's strengths, you know, even if it's a detriment, is a you know, good quality for role playing.
Well, thank you. I like we talked about earlier, I think all of us kind of almost maybe lean into our character sometime too much. If that's possible, but you know,
yeah.
It's like to where it's like, you know, I know what Emmett ate for lunch last Thursday, and now that's why he's a little cranky today.
Yeah.
And I'll never say it out loud. Nobody else knows it, but that's just the way my brain works. Is I need to know the little things about him so that as a situation arises, I can react to it, and that's just kind of where I try to sit in it. And
yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, it's like, because like I've been in a situation before where I have a paladin, you know what I mean? And they're in a scenario where it's like, this is really dumb. He attacks, you know, because it's just like, that's what he's going to do. God damn it, you know?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like I could like try to justify why he does the smart thing, or I could be like, this is what he does, you know? It's like, this is what this guy would do, you know?
Yep. Yeah, which is very easy to do with a barbarian.
Yeah. But it's also like knowing the difference, because sometimes you can be antagonistically, you know, that's what my character would do, which is different. You know what I mean? Like there's a more honest, like truer version of it where it's like you're also disappointed that this is what the character is going to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and then and then there's the other way of doing it. Of I just want to do this thing, and I'm going to smear. This is what my character would do over top of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the two sides of it. Like, if you end up in it, I think all three of us have ended up in situations where our characters would do a thing that we think is absolutely asinine. It's, oh God, I don't want to do this, but it's the only thing they're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely totally different than taking the game and doing the thing you want to do and just smearing it, like you said, smearing over it with that's what my character would do. It's like maybe not. It could just be the thing you want to do. Don't even get me started. Lawful evil characters are better than chaotic neutral. That's all I'm saying. At least they've got a compass,
Yeah. The first part of that is lawful of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be good, but at least it's lawful. Good God. Like, say what you will about National Socialism, but at least it's an ethos.
Things to edit.
No, man, it's Big Lebowski.
I know what it's from.
But yeah, chaotic neutral. Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, I think we're getting to the end now. Let's see, random question time. Jeremy, do you have any random questions for Brian?
Yeah, because all of the other ones have been so well planned out.
I don't. Random question. French fries or tater tots?
Okay, you're. I'm gonna say French fries simply for the fact that you didn't specify.
Oh,
what kind of tater tots?
Well, not just what kind of tater tots. It's what kind of French fries.
That's fair. I honestly,
French fries leaves a broad stroke.
Yeah. Not waffle fries. Waffle fries don't count. They're their own thing.
Oh,
those aren't French fries. Those are waffle fries. They're
okay.
Yeah, they're too thin and too crispy.
All right, let's do fair fries or tater tots.
All fair fries all day long,
No,
especially with vinegar on them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, Brian. Now I got a random question for you.
Yes. All right, I'm ready.
I'm going to pose this to both of you guys, actually. What's the opposite of nowhere?
Somewhere?
Underwear?
Brian wins.
Brian does win.
Yeah.
Brian does win.
Best answer.
Oh, shit.
All right, well. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up, right? That's about it.
I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brian. You've been great. Next time we talk to you, one of your characters will be dead, so be ready for that.
I'm ready for them to die all the time.
You should be.
So you should really worry next time. I'm like, hey, Brian, you want to do a Scuttlebutt coming up? You know?
What?
What? Yeah. We need to talk about the thing that's going to happen.
It's like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks. In like 2 weeks, we'll do one. Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Did you ever make that backup character totally off topic?
Totally off topic. Unrelated.
Did you say they were a sorcerer, or were you making a cleric?
So hypothetically, if you were going to make a new character for Twilight 2000, would you use the archetype rules or the life path ones? So hypothetically, just life
path. Life path every time. It's too much fun.
The chaos.
It is fun.
The chaos.
I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to say that's about it, and we'll just end it there. We got new episodes coming out next week. On Monday, it's going to be episode 3 of Twilight 2000, 2 Past Midnight, which is, what was episode 3? Oh, Psalms 83-2? 82-3. 82-3, Brian? 82-3.
82-3.
And then on Thursday, it's going to be episode 3 when the audio quality starts to get a little bit better. a little bit better. And it's Marbles of Modern Medicine. That's episode 3. And
don't miss it. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah,
they're actually both pivotal episodes.
Fucking great episodes.
Oh yeah, all 3 of them are pivotal and define the rest of their respective campaigns.
Yeah, you mean both of them,
respectively? Yeah,
but you said all 3 of them.
Wait, there was a third one?
You said all 3 of them.
You said 3.
I said 3.
You said all 3 of them. And I'm sitting here going, what's the third one?
No, what it was is we said episode 3, and then he got hung up on 3 because he's high as a kite.
Too many 3s. All 3s.
I am 33 years old, God damn it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Wait. No, I know what the third one is.
What?
It hasn't been released yet.
Scuttlebutt?
No.
Not next week. There's not another 3.
No, but the third one will be pivotal though.
I don't even know what you're talking about, and we're gonna have to talk about it later because I have zero idea what you're talking about.
We have got to wait for him to come down and get some sleep before we
what
let
are
him
you
talk
on,
any
Jeremy?
further.
Let's get back to the original point of this conversation. Jeremy, you need to stop mixing heroin with speed. It's a terrible combination, and it's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you. It's just
the terrible part is you joke about that.
It's terrible. It's shit like that killed Elvis. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, poor Elvis.